Hello everyone, my name is Chloe and today I am here with a brand new video. Welcome to Brunette Bibliophile, where I post bookish videos and writing content. Today I am here to talk about all of the books that I would like to reread in 2022. I did this video last year for all the books I wanted to read in 2021, and I actually felt that I accomplished most of them by the halfway point of the year. So today we're going to talk about all of the ones that I want to reread this year, and we're actually going to start with the books that I didn't get to last year. So there's only 3 books that I didn't get to last year, and they're all in the same series, and that is that I would like to finish my reread of the Lunar Chronicles, and the only ones I have left are Fairest Winter and Stars Above, as well as the 2 graphic novels. Now, I actually finished Fairest already. This was my first read of the new year, so it's mostly just these 2 that are left. And I've been getting through this reread fairly quickly because this is my favorite series, so I tend to speed through the books. So I don't anticipate this taking much longer. So now let's talk about all of the ones that I added to my reread list for this year, and we're actually going to keep on the trend of Marissa Meyer because I would like to reread the Renegade series. Now this is just the first book, but it is a trilogy, and I would like to reread it since I have only read the whole series through once. I think it would be great to kind of binge read them since I did read them at their release time each year that they came out. But I do want to do a full reread, and I think that would be awesome. And once again, keeping on the Marissa Meyer train here, I would also like to reread Heartless. This is her Alice in Wonderland retelling that is a standalone, and it actually came out, I want to say it came out in 2015 or 2016, but I have not read it since it came out. So I would like to do a reread since I did enjoy this book when I originally read it. And then this kind of stays on the Marissa Meyer train, but also not really. I would like to reread Because You Love to Hate Me, an anthology that's edited by Anne-Marie. And this is 13 Tales of Villainy. It was very hyped when it came out a few years ago. It was a collaboration between a bunch of booktubers and authors. So I think this would be a fun reread since I also have not reread it since it came out. And the last pile is a bunch of rom-coms and contemporary. And the first one that I would like to reread is It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. Now, I've not read this since about 2017. This does have content warnings for abuse in a relationship, but the reason I want to reread it is because it is currently blowing up on TikTok and Bookstagram. So I just want to reread it so I can enjoy this book again in the time of its current hype. I'm pretty sure this was also my first Colleen Hoover book, so I think it would be a nice reread to do this year. And all the rest of these books are books that I either read for the first time last year or reread last year, and I just love them so much that I have to do it again this year. The first one is The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. I actually just did my reread last year, my very first reread, but as soon as I finished it, I wanted to reread it again. And the movie came out in December, which was amazing, and I already have it pre-ordered for a DVD. Watching the movie made me want to reread the book again, so I think I'm going to reread it again this year. It is also my current traveling book amongst my little friend group, and my copy of The Hating Game is currently with Desiree from Libre Labra. Then it is going to go to Kathleen from For the Love of Books, so when I get back the annotated copy, I think I'm going to reread that one so I can read all the notes. Staying on the topic of traveling books, the next one I want to reread is The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. I just read this for the first time in November, and this is now one of my all-time favorite books. I love it so much. So Desiree from Libre Labra and myself are going to pass this book and annotate it as well, and I am very excited for a reread because I just love this book so much. The next one I'd like to reread is In the Holidays by Christina Lauren. I'm going to try and make it a tradition to read this around the holidays every year, so I did just read it in December, and I think I'm going to pick it up again in late November or early December this year. And next, the 2 books I want to reread are Beach Read by Emily Henry and People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. Beach Read I have read in 2020 when it first came out. I reread it in 2021, and I already want to reread it again because this book just gets me in a really good writing mood, and it's also just a really good romance book that I love so much. And People We Meet on Vacation came out last year in 2021, and I read it for the first time last year, and I love this book just as much, and I think it deserves just the same amount of love as Beach Read, so I want to reread it this year as well. And the last book I would like to reread in 2022, I just had to grab this off the shelf because I forgot to put it in my pile, and that is that I would like to reread the Sweep series by Kate Tiernan. Now this is a bind up of the first 3 books, and I have all the other bind ups. And this is a 15 book series, but each book is probably less than 200 pages. The first book in this bind up is only 176 pages. This is a reread that I could get through very quickly, and I haven't read it in such a long time. Like, this is one of the first series that I read when either it was just before I started BookTube or right after, and I really love this series, so I definitely want to go back and reread it. So those are all of the books that I would like to reread in 2022. Let me know in the comments below if there's any books you're planning on rereading this year. And that is all I have for this video today. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it. As always, if you like what you see here, please go ahead and click subscribe. I post new videos every week, so click subscribe so you can be updated for when I post those. And if you really like my channel, consider checking out my Patreon, linked in the description below. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Bye!
In the darkness, I don't feel